Oh man, it's been quite some time since I did a little vlog. Video blog, I guess. It's amazing how many things can change in just a couple of years. I mean, the last time I talked, I was in a different part of my life altogether. I would say it was the me that existed 2 years ago has evolved. Pardon the fan. Rain likes to keep the fan on her when she plays games, but where my life is today, it's just, I kind of just wanted to talk because it's been so long since the last time I made a video. I mean, I haven't even made a convention video on my other account in probably over a year, but that comes with being in a relationship, I guess. I've dedicated most of my effort and time now into this girl of my dreams that I met. I mean, it's interesting what, I guess maybe I'm going to talk about love, because that's something people think, like, they if they've never experienced it, it's hard to describe, and people assume they're supposed to feel these feelings that, like a super attraction towards somebody, but until you actually experienced it, you can't really, you can't imagine what it feels like. But I guess I'm going to recap the last couple years with you, and if you want to sit here and watch me just ramble, drinking a beer, you're more than welcome to stick around, because that's what you're going to get. Because really, I just want to talk. But, so, let's go back in time, to like 2014. 2014 me. I think maybe the last vlog I did might have been the year before that, or sometime earlier in 2014, I can't remember. But back then, I was a different person. I guess you could say I just got out of a relationship, maybe a year or so around that time. It had been about a year. And, it was a long relationship. It wasn't like something that was just like, dated somebody. No, it was pretty lengthy. It was a long time. But I was like, you know what? I said, I'm going to wait. And I'm going to wait until somebody comes along that literally blows me away. Because, when I was in my last relationship, it was like we were just kind of friends. Just acquaintances almost. It was like both of us were just like neutrally okay with each other. It literally didn't feel like it. Like when people would ask me at work, like, what did you feel? And I was kind of like, they were like, are you in love still? Like, one of my bosses would say that shit all the time, and I'm like, I guess. Like, I didn't know what to fucking say, because I'm like, what does love fucking feel like? I didn't know. And that should have told me something, but me being me, I like, stability. I was just kind of like, whatever, things are fine. Why change it? And I think that's where a lot of people fucking go wrong in their lives, is they're just comfortable, and it's just like, anyway, so that ended, thankfully, because that shit could have gone on for a lot longer if I tried fucking harder, and I'm glad I didn't, because the fact that I didn't care ended it sooner than later, which is great. But get back to 2014. Now I'm living my single life. I'm actually starting to, regain my happiness. I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. Me and my friends can go out, we can drink, we can party, we can hang out. The times are glorious. I'm making decent money, I'm starting to, move up in my work. And, life is just, it's good. It's very good. So now I'm happy. And it's funny because when you least expect it. And then people will tell you this all the time, but it's true. When you stop trying, there's so many people out there that try so hard to find something, find someone, that they almost blind themselves. It's like they focus on all the wrong things. They're it's just not the way to handle life. You just have to kind of let it happen. Try to enjoy stuff as it comes along. And stop thinking so fucking hard, Anyway, me and my buddies, we're all hanging out, and it's routine. We all go to conventions, we party, do the whole costuming, werewolf thing. That's me. Obviously, you subscribe to my channel, so you kind of probably know that by now, to some extent. But, so, in my head, I'm single. I'm just thinking, you know what? If somebody's out there for me, let them come. I'll wait for them. Fuck it. So, we're decided to go to Midwest Fur Fest 2014, which is, I've been going every year since 2007, and, out of nowhere, we were just a routine con. I don't even know how to describe it. So, there was, we had just got there. It's like the last con video I actually did. Like, I haven't done anything since that convention because what matters more is my relationship now. It's like I can't even focus on anything because all I want to do is spend time with her. Anyway, so we were going to this con, and then I think it was like Saturday during the parade. They have a costuming parade that goes on. For those of you that don't know, that are probably like, what the fuck is he fucking talking about? But people that wear costumes are part of a parade in the morning, and everybody just kind of goes, oh, that's cool, it's cool. Stands around and watches. Probably thousands of people in the hotel and visit the hotel, etc. And, we were just kind of, I was in the parade wearing my police uniform, Beretta, that I cosplay as, K9 unit. And it was after the parade. I'm still videotaping, and all of a sudden, I was just kind of minding my own business, just walking around, just taping stuff, because that's what I do. I just like to tape life. You never know what's going to happen. And out of nowhere, there's like this black wolf. And, it's just a black wolf, but something about her, like, I literally, she's in costume, okay? And I see this person, and my jaw just fucking, drops inside. I just amazed. I'm like, whoa, who is this? Who is this person? And it was just the most interesting fucking feeling. I felt like, I gotta know this person. I gotta know this person. So, she came up to me, and she's interacting with me, and I'm interacting with her, and I'm kind of just shocked at, her interest in me. I think maybe she was just doing her thing because we have the same creator, and she might have came up to me. But to me, it was just, overwhelming. It just blew me away. I'm like, okay, who the fuck are you? You have, the same, even amazing wolf costume, just like mine. Not to flatter myself, but it is pretty cool. So I'm blown away, and it's all on video, actually. And she comes up to me, and it's just like, oh, fuck. And I remember my buddy, fucking Ernick, or Space, or Joe. We refer to him as Ernick now, because that's kind of what he goes by. So, he's like, dude, who's that girl? She was all over you. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's just interacting with me, it's normal, whatever. But at the same time, I'm thinking, man, I was, really interested in who the fuck that was. So, I kind of just brushed aside at the same time, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking, I gotta find this person again. I gotta find this person. I gotta see what they're about, who they are. I'm not knowing nothing about who she was or anything previously, which is, crazy. So it's the fact that somehow she came up to me and I had such a strong attraction to her instantly. That was just weird. I can't even explain it. So, that night, I decided to go out costuming again, and we were just kind of wandering around, and all of a sudden, there she is. She comes up to me again, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? You know, and she's with somebody else that I kind of know briefly, and a couple other people walk up that she knows, and I'm like, oh, hey, and I'm talking with her, and she's like, oh, we're just having a conversation, and I'm like, but she's in costume, I'm in costume, and apparently she doesn't break character. She doesn't talk with words to anybody, unless I guess maybe they're in a suit. Like she says it was because I was in a clockwork suit, like she is. But to me, it seemed like, I don't think you really do it all that often, at least from what I've experienced lately. She doesn't really like to talk. She gets in character, and that is it. But anyway, we're having a conversation, and I'm just like, hey, you know, what's your name? And she's telling me, and I'm Red Dark Wolf, right? And she tells me, oh, my name's Rain. Rain Dark Wolf. And I'm like, well, that makes sense, because you're black. You know, you're a black wolf. That's alright, I get it. But still, to me, that's kind of weird. I'm like thinking, okay, we have the same last name. That's kind of interesting. I'm like, okay, hey, now that I've got you talking, hey, what's your information? You know, let's chit chat. You know, I'm curious. I just gotta know. I gotta like, curiosity is increasing. You know, so she gives me her Skype name, and somehow, granted, it's not that hard to forget, but somehow the next day, after me saying, you know, later, it was nice meeting you, walk off, party that night, get fucking wasted, friends, whatever, I remembered the next day to enter it in Skype, and I just say, hey, it was nice meeting you, you know, pleasure. And I would have never guessed that would start something that led me here today, you know, just that con, I don't know what it is about MFF, but something about it, man. It's just an interesting convention. It brings people together, and somehow out of nowhere, you know, we just started talking, and daily, we talked daily. Like there wasn't one day between when she lived down in Kansas and when I lived up here that we did not talk to one another. So 2.5 or so months had passed, and you know, we ended up meeting up at another con. She told me she was going to Texas Furry Fiesta, and I'm like, okay, you know, that's kind of far, but sure, you know, at this point, I'm like, after all, like, she starts talking to me, and I start noticing like how similar we are. Like it's so interesting. I'm like, she loves all the same music, she has the same interests. It was like, holy shit, dude. I've never felt such a connection with somebody. And at the time, I didn't even really I didn't know what she looked like, you know? Like, she was just in costume. I never really have even, I saw like one blurry picture of her that she sent me, you know, with her dog. That was not even, it's like just was her face and her dog. Like, it was nothing. And I didn't really completely know what she even looked like. But somehow I was already attracted to this person. I had to see who they were. So I decided to, you know, brave my fears and fucking get on an airplane and fly down to Texas and just see if she's fucking all she says she is, you know. And we decided to room together. It's the first time we met up at Texas Furry Fiesta, and it was such an experience, you know. Like nothing happened. We just hung out. You know, we did stuff. And I remember the day we were leaving, it was so depressing for me because I didn't know if I was ever going to see her again. I was literally in tears, just hugging her, saying, you know, I hope we get to hang out again. Because it was like, you just don't know. It was like such a great weekend. I had so much fun. This connection grew stronger. And I don't know. It was just such a unique experience. And I told her, I said, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to see you again. I hate to leave you here, you know? And I remember crying on the way to the fucking airport, just fucking in tears, going, man, I think I fucking love this girl. I don't even know her really, you know? And I think I already fucking love this girl. Because there's never been a time in my life where I felt so strongly about somebody ever. never had that before, and it just blew me the fuck away. It just blew me the fuck away. So, I'm in tears going to the airport, bawling my eyes out. And I'm pretty fucking strong when it comes to, like, sad events in my own life. It's movies that get me or music that gets me, but normal shit doesn't really affect me that much. But this was big. This was big. I could feel it. So, that weekend ended, and the next weekend was a convention up in Wisconsin, and I told her, I said, hey, I kind of laid it out for her. I'm like, if I feel this strongly, I want to see if she feels the same. I said, do you want to come up here? Do you want to come to this con up in Wisconsin? And somehow, by some miracle, she found a flight for like $80 to fucking O'Hare, and I picked her up. And I said, you can stay with me, it's fine. She just, from that little experience we had, she literally, like, just trusted me instantly, And she met all my friends, kind of roomed together at the con with my friends and, hung out. And then the weekend ended. We had 2 extra days before she had to fly back. And see, I can't remember exactly. She stayed with me, and that's when, the magic happened. And, our connection grew even stronger, as gay as it sounds. But, it was, something started that weekend, just, that led to this. And then it was like, she just came out of traumatic previous relationships, and things were just not looking good, for her at least. And I was just like, I've seen, so much depression in her, and it was just like bringing me, I felt more compelled to, save her. And, she was afraid to get in a relationship. I'm telling her, you know what? I said, you don't have to. I said, I want this to be a relationship, I do. But, at the same time, I can tell she's uncomfortable with calling it that. So she is sometimes, and she's like, she's trying to see all the flaws in me now, because, the anxiety's coming up, and it's kind of stressful, And then eventually, we visited more, we went to more cons, and, one of the specific nights I can remember the best was, we drove down to Chicago after, I think, Motor City for a con, and I had to drop her off at the airport, and I remember thinking, oh man, we're going to be late. And sure enough, we were late because we went to Culver's, and it was jam-packed with fucking people. For some reason, there was 5 million people from, like, the Allstate Arena or whatever the fuck was going on down in Illinois. And she ended up missing her flight, and I still had the day off tomorrow, and I told her, well, we can deal with it tomorrow. And I remember we got some fucking shitty fucking bottled, pretty much boxed wine and some beer at the local Target, and we went back to some mediocre Motel 6 in Illinois, and we just spent the night in Illinois, I bought a toothbrush at fucking Walgreens or something, and it was probably one of the greatest nights of, like, my entire life. And, she flew out that morning. I remember being as depressed I was the first time she fucking left. It was a constant feeling of, like, am I going to see this person again? You never know. We're states apart. And I don't know how many of you have actually experienced long-distance relationships, but they are rough. They are extremely rough. They give you so much stress. You miss that person so much. You want nothing more than to be beside them at all times, and it just sucks. It's like an addiction. It just feels like your brain just needs it. It's like, I need this person. This person is just, it's like I considered her my fucking equal. We were like the same, the same but different at the same time. Like, for me, I'm a really positive person. She's more of she looks on the darker sides of things sometimes. And she aside from all that, like, just our personalities are a little different, but our interests and hobbies and everything we like, enjoy is, like, the same. And that was just so unique. It's like we're different, but yet the same. And that's where, like, I remember we were at Motor City, and I think my buddy Shade goes, it's like yin and yang. You guys are like yin and yang. And, when you look into it, it freaked me out more. It made me draw this piece of art with, like, me on the top and Rain on the bottom. And there was, like, yin is the female. Dark, kind of more, I'd have to look it up again, but it was, like, more depressive, dark, kind of sad, introspective force, and it's, like, classified as female. And then there's yang, the positive, assertive, male, I guess, force. And it's like we fit the fucking bill. It was so weird. It was like, I was like, shit, damn, that's great. And I drew that fucking the picture. I even made a painting of it. I put it on my fucking wall because it was one of my greatest pieces I ever done. To me, at least. I mean, it's not like, I'm not an amazing artist, but I think I'm decent. So anyway, after that amount of stress, we started talking about her moving in. And at the time, she was living with her parents still, her mom. And I was like, you should get out of there. There's so much negativity down there. I want you to be here. Please just come up. Let's try it. Let's just try it. Let's see how it goes, And, she moved up, and, it was interesting at first. Like, there was such a strong connection, but there was, when two people come together that really care about one another, there's going to be fights. And that's what's the most interesting thing is, I guess, one thing I learned from a coworker is that when you get with somebody, especially when two people really care about one another and care about the relationship, the fights are stronger. And, comparatively to my previous relationship, it makes so much sense because there weren't that many fights. It was like once a year. We didn't argue. It didn't happen. We didn't fight about nothing. When there's more love involved, there's more emotion, there's more conflict. It's just, you get more offended easily. Because it's like, you want the other person you feel so hurt when the other person doesn't understand or feel what you're feeling, because you want them to. You want it to work so bad that, the littlest things are a big deal. And the first year was actually, I would say the first summer with, us together was pretty rough, but we didn't give up. I mean, we almost did several times. The fall, I remember that being glorious. And, it's just been an uphill battle ever since. And never once have I ever wanted to give up. There's those brief times where you've had arguments and fights where it's like, fuck it, but I'm coming right back after that. And my coworker said, you know what, with all this shit, me and my fiance my wife were the same way, and we've been married for fucking 20-something years. He's like, you guys are gonna get married. And that doesn't scare me, because I would love to spend the rest of my life with this girl, And that's scary to say, because I don't think I'll ever feel something like this again. I don't think I ever will. I don't think it's ever going to get any less. The love I feel today is the same, if not stronger, than it was in the beginning. And I don't know how often people get to experience that. And I guess that brings me back to today. Today, fast forward another 6-8 months, and we've surpassed so many obstacles, so many big, negative events. I screwed myself over. I got myself in trouble legally because I let my stress get, over me. And some of my friends would know what I'm talking about, but I don't really want to go into detail because that's not irrelevant, really. It's not really. I should say, when the time is right, maybe I will. But there hasn't been a single point in my life that I've really regretted, because everything that happens, it happens to teach you something. You learn from your mistakes. If there were no mistakes, how are you ever supposed to realize, I feel like if you just lived in a fantasy land of joy, it's just, I feel like that would get boring. You have to have, the negatives with the positive. With this girl, I felt more emotion than I've ever felt in my entire life, both good and bad. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that really means, you're alive. Like that is life, to feel, to experience the world, and learn and try to do what you can while you're here and influence as many people as possible. So maybe that's why I do like videos and shit, to maybe just kind of talk, let out some shit. Maybe someone will take my advice, I don't know. I guess the point of this video really is just to kind of say, if anybody's looking, lonely, it's not it. There is somebody out there. You might not believe it, you might not. It just doesn't. Not everyone has the same outlook I have. Not everyone can just be like, I'm happy the way I am. Some people need to feel like they have to have something. But the truth is, you really have to be happy with what you have in the moment in order to, I guess, be successful. Because if you're constantly worrying about shit like that, you're never ever going to get anywhere. You're just going to end up stressing. And stress is not your friend. Let me tell you, all it does is make you fucking overthink everything, worry about everything. And a coworker of mine, Nick, his stoner friend, Nick, pretty much, he's told me, he's like, you know what? It is what it is, man. He's got so much shit that might have happened in his life, and he's just like, you know what? I don't want to think about it. He's like, I think about it from time to time, but I don't let it eat me up, is what he says. And I kind of envy that, that's strength. That's some strength there, Some people, therapy only helps you open your eyes to, like, your issues, and he just handles them. And that's pretty strong. To some extent I do, but, I let my anxiety overtake me, That sucks. Anxiety sucks. But my personal belief with anxiety and depression, and some people might disagree with this. I've had arguments, not really arguments, but disagreements in what each of these things is. But anxiety, to me at least, anxiety is the fear of the future, and depression is dwelling on past events that you cannot change, negative past events. And I don't have any depression, really. I don't really get depressed. If I get depressed, it's for a brief period of time, but I do have anxiety because I constantly worry about what's going to happen. Is this going to last? Is this going to work out? And it's one of those things where I have to remind myself, And, it seems, sometimes it doesn't seem like it's going to, because of, all the emotion and all the stress that comes out of it, Like right now, we're looking for a house. We're trying to find a house to live together. And at the same time, you got my head thinking, if we're going to buy this together, if we end up splitting up in the future, if something changes, that's going to be extremely hard on both of us. It's going to be one of those fucking, it's just shitty. It's like, it'd be like a divorce. But, you just can't worry about that. You have to keep trying and working at what you feel is right. Because that's all you can do. And that's the only way to happiness, Your decisions that you make are just stepping stones, And hopefully after you make enough mistakes, you find the path to victory, I guess. And I've made plenty of mistakes, let me tell you. That's really my 30-minute rant on relationships. And what I believe love is just an overwhelming, extremely intimate connection with somebody that's like I find myself never wanting to be apart from this person, When I was with my previous partner, it was just like, I'll see you later. I didn't care. It's just so different. It's like, I don't want to do anything without you. I want you to be there. I want you to experience this with me. That's how strong it is. It's taken me away from a lot of my hobbies, but I don't care. Because what matters more to me is our relationship. And I think that eventually, when we get more comfortable, we'll eventually, end up in some perfect symbionts, I think that's the word, of like bliss. That's my belief. And I think that anybody who wants to really be happy just has to accept what they have in the moment, be happy, and work towards something better. And not overthink it, not stress about it. Just learn from your past mistakes and try to better yourself, because that's the only way. The only way you're ever going to, achieve something new or good. I just see a lot of my friends. There's a few of my friends. I know there's one friend of mine. I don't want to really name names because I don't want him to feel singled out, but he was in a really meaningful relationship, and this person picked someone else over him. And I think this person even regrets it a little bit, because I get messages to this day saying, I miss him. How do I get over him? And this is like 2 or 3 years later. That's nuts. There was something there, there's something strong. This is even a problem I can't solve, because this person cares about the current person they're with. Yet they still care about each other, yet this other person can't even talk to this person because it hurts too much. Love's tough. It is. But yeah, let's get a little lighter. I'm going to try to maybe make the last of my beer a little more positive. I guess not so emotional, because I've been kind of delving into love topics, and some people don't like to hear about that either. But, if you stuck around, good on you. They like to hear me talk. I appreciate it. So yeah, getting a house. I was promoted at work. Finally, my boss, since I've been there pretty much, up and quit. He just couldn't deal with passive-aggressive other coworkers. Just couldn't deal with having a boss who, still reacted. He took things too personally, I guess. And he said, my boss, the last thing he told me, one of the last things was like, I want you to move on. I want you to advance. I think you'll do well. And I said, good luck. I want to miss you. He didn't believe me, but I really do. This day I enjoyed having my boss, Nick, as a boss. He was fun. He was pretty fair when it came to stuff. He's a little lazy, but, who isn't? He's a boss. He's expected to be kind of lazy. He's got that promotion. I don't know, it never bothered me. It bothered some people I know, like my cousin, but whatever. Anyway, I got a promotion at work. I'm making a decent amount now. Not substantial. It's only like $1.50 more than where I was. So there's basically all it did was like open up. I'm not capping. I can still go higher, which is nice. But I did reach the amount of money I wanted to make, that I said I wanted to make when I was a child, like probably 12, 13, 14. We were talking about how much we wanted to kind of make, and now I've set the goal a little bit higher. And my next goal, after this goal of hitting that amount, was basically moving into a house before I'm 30. And I think I'm going to get that goal too. And that's another thing. If you want to do something, like, you really got to set a goal in your head. You got to think about it. You don't have to, like, constantly, just create a mental kind of state where you're like, yeah, that's a goal. That's a goal. And then make little steps to move towards it. Because eventually you will get there. Little steps. It doesn't have to be big steps. Don't take giant leaps. Don't take giant risks. Just work your way towards it, because you'll eventually get there. You know, you might stumble a few times, but you're going to get there. You're not going to fail completely. You know, there might be big failures, but it's learning. You learn, right? You're not stupid. So, got a promotion, going to get a house, working on getting a house. I got an amazing relationship. I couldn't ask for more. You know, she says, her being a depressive person, she always wonders, you know, why do you deal with me? I'm like, because there's nobody else I'd rather deal with. I can't see it being the other way. I enjoy making her happy. The fact that she is sad, when I see that smile, when I make her smile, it makes me fucking ungodly. You know, it's like the biggest reward in the world. It feels really good. But, yeah, I'm looking at getting a new vehicle soon. House comes first, though. I just got all the money for the house. We're actually going to go look at another house today. Not too excited about it. It's probably like, it's a 2-bedroom. It's got an attic area that could be turned into a 3rd bedroom if we really wanted, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes. There's another house. It's just, looking at houses is tough, especially now in today's market, because it seems like everybody's jumping. Like, there are so many houses that we missed because, like, we're not even talking like we waited a week or two. It's like within the first couple days, if you're not there, it's taken. People are just buying right now. It's crazy. It sucks. Yeah, man. Waiting for her reptiles. She's got reptiles. Waiting for her lights to go off so I can go in the room and pass out without being disturbed because those lights are bright. But yeah, I don't know. I really want to get back into drawing again. That was fun. Videos for me, I'd like to do more of. I've actually been recording, but I just haven't been editing because I haven't recorded enough quality footage. I've been so distracted with just us just hanging out. It's been like, I don't know. I guess one of my biggest steps right now, one of my biggest goals is to get over jealousy. Because when you got something you care about so much, someone, you start to worry, you know, you get very, at least for me at least, I get a lot of anxiety. And that's, like I said, me and anxiety don't mix. It causes problems. I gotta solve that. I gotta find a way to deal with that. I think I'm smart enough to handle it. Talking about it helps. I just don't want to pay for a therapist because that's fucking a lot of money. But your friends can be really great therapists too, especially if you got good ones. But yeah, that's where my life has been. It's been an interesting last 2 years, you know. It really has. It's been quite a ride, and I wouldn't have changed it at all. Because I know 30 years from now I'm going to look back and say, man, that's something to tell somebody a story about, you know. It's like if I have kids someday, you know, she doesn't want kids, she says that, but you never know. I'm kind of indifferent. I'd like kids, but, you know, right now, no, I'm still too immature to have kids at all. It's just fucking, I'm watching all my friends have fucking kids, coworkers have kids, and it's just like, I don't want to deal with that right now. You know, how do you explain your fucking, you know, 10-year-old that you dress up like a wolf? Like, it's like my parents are the wolf parents. I mean, that to me that's kind of cool, but probably to his classmates they'd probably make fun of him. But yeah, my beer is almost down, so that means this video is almost done. But yeah, I'm looking forward to, we have Indie FurCon coming up. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's good. Drama free, that's always good. No one needs excess drama. And hopefully all my friends go and we all have a great time. hoping we find a house soon, but, you know, it's more for her than anything because she wants to get a dog. She kind of needs a dog. It helps with her own anxiety. She needs that animal around if I'm not there. But yeah, hopefully get a house at least in the next 6 months, because that'd be ample. You know, I just kind of want to leave this apartment. Just sick of it. Sick of renting. It sucks. You know, it was fun when I was young, but now that I'm approaching 27. I'll be 27 next month. And just ready to have my own fucking space, you know? I need no neighbors, like, right on top of you. I can turn my music up as loud as I fucking want. Yeah. I can't believe you're still watching and that you actually stayed through all this. Good for you. You like listening to me. I can't imagine why you would. Either I'm that great of a talker, or you are just bored as hell, or you're drinking with me. One or the other. But I should probably end it at 42. I think that'd be good, because that's the meaning of life, as the Hitchhiker's Guide alludes to, or whatever. I like that movie. I never read the book. Don't make fun of me for it. I am not a reader. Rain can attest to that. Not a reader. Yeah, I have ADD when I read. I get bored, start skipping, miss shit. Sucks. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me. Hope you took something from it. Later.